Greetings, and welcome to this episode of Friday Toolbox. My name is Doug Taylor, and I am one of the instructional coaches from the 21st Century Learning Division. This show is meant to raise awareness about some of the exciting tools that can be used in the classroom to enhance practice around the dimensions of 21st century learning. For more information about the dimensions, remember to check out the planning guide on the front page of our website, and the elevator guides found by clicking on the guide or in the navigation bar. In our last episode, we looked at a one-device student response system called Plickers. In this episode, I want to talk about another type of student response system. This system is called Poll Everywhere, and, like Plickers, it provides a way for teachers to gather responses from all students in a class quickly. This one will require the students to have a device, but I like this system because it works with virtually any device you can think of, including student cell phones. Poll Everywhere gives you some additional options that Plickers lacks. While Plickers can only work with true, false, and multiple choice style questions, Poll Everywhere gives you many different response options, including support for text-based responses to more open-ended questions. To get started, let's visit the tool website at www.polleverywhere.com. Like Plickers, you will need to create an account to use Poll Everywhere, but your students will not need their own accounts. Click on Sign Up, enter your information, and click Sign Up for my Poll Everywhere account. After logging into Poll Everywhere, you will see your polls page. You'll start with no available polls. Click the Create button to create your first poll. The first step will be to add a question. There are multiple ways that Poll Everywhere will accept responses: open-ended, multiple choice, or even clickable images. For this poll, we'll use a cluster. Then click Create. Poll Everywhere will create the poll and present you with options for responding. As responses are received, they will appear in this box. You can see at the top the two different ways that are on by default for responding to Poll Everywhere. One is at the website, pollev.com/ and your username. The other is through text message. Notice here you can also set up Twitter accounts. To activate the poll, you'll need to click the Activate button, found here. This poll is now active and ready to accept responses. I can also make the poll full screen if I want to show it in real time on my active board. To exit full screen mode, simply press Escape. In order for students to respond to your poll, they will visit this website. It will present them with the question only. I'll submit a response. Now let's go back and look at the poll screen. Notice that my response appears immediately. If we do another, there it is. Let's meet our class for this episode and see how this tool might be used in a real classroom. Say good morning to my helpers for this week.
Welcome to the Friday Toolbox from Maxwell's.
Alright guys, we've been working on our Truckee River PBL, and we have a couple of questions that you guys are going to respond to in a different way. So I want you to look at your screens, and I want you to follow along with me, starting at what are. Ready?
What are some ways that we as students can help to protect the environment?
Okay. I want you to take about 30 seconds of thinking time.
This class has been conducting a PBL unit on environmental studies. Let's see how Mrs. Tinker might use Poll Everywhere as a formative assessment tool to measure their learning around this topic.
I want you to go ahead and respond to the question. When you're done, you're going to hit Submit Response. also look to see what some of your classmates are saying for some inspiration if you need some help. Again, that's up on the board. I see some of you are adding on to it, and that's fantastic. If you have more ideas, you can see you can still respond. It hasn't been closed yet. So there's multiple ways that you guys can respond to questions. Like, for example, in our Chromebooks, we are working with Poll Everywhere, and we're going to see one more question. We're going to look at our next question. We're going to read starting at what are. Ready?
What are some of the dangers of failing
To protect our environment.
One advantage of Poll Everywhere is that it accepts responses from a variety of devices. This student is responding using an iPad, while this student responds by text messaging from an iPhone. As you can see, these are just two of the ways that you can use Poll Everywhere to gather information. In the questions that Mrs. Tinker's students responded to, a cluster and a word cloud were chosen. Poll Everywhere supports the usual multiple choice options as well as many more open-ended response systems. Poll Everywhere is another way that teachers can quickly gather information from a class. This information could easily be used for formative assessment purposes, or polls could even be conducted by students as a way of gathering project information. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me through the website. Don't forget to tune in next time.